Friends, how many of you agree with me that negotiation is one of the most important life skill? If you agree with me, may I request you to type yes on the chat box, please? Please type yes on the chat box. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sari. Thank you, Sudhir. Thank you, Poonam. Thank you. Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you, Nia. Thank you very much. How many of you agree with me that in today's volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world, each one of us, both in our personal and professional life, need to learn, understand, and master negotiation skill, which is learnable, which is trainable, which is also easy to master if you really have the persistence. If you again agree with me, can you please type agree on the chat box, please? Thank you, Shubh. Thank you, Ankit. Thank you, Debojit. Thank you, Poonam. Thank you, Abhay. Lovely. I love your intensity. And last but not the least, my friends, how many of you agree with me? You just think about this that in life, you don't get what you deserve, but in life, you get what you negotiate for. If you agree with me again, I would request you to type yes on the chat box. Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you, Abhay. Thank you, Pranali. Thank you. Thank you, Tarun. Thank you, Sheikh. Thank you, Satish. Thank you very much. As I welcome each one of you to this master class on negotiation. And I would like to really welcome each one of you for this session, which is on negotiation excellence, negotiation skill, and with the thing that it is builds value in every conversation that you may have, both in your personal life and your professional life. And I would like to thank this awesome organization, Ithrika Insurance, and especially Ankit for doing this great service because this company is constantly helping us to educate on those subjects which is unfortunately not taught in our normal educational curriculum, and which is very, very important for us to be not only successful in life but also happy in life. Okay. How many of you agree with me? If you agree with me, say agree. And I would like you all to give a round of applause, maybe a digital applause, or just say this. Yeah, I really appreciate this awesome company, Ethrika Insurance, and especially Ankit Yadav for really doing this human service. I tell you, ultimately, I strongly believe in one thing that in your life, whatever you achieve is achieved because of the amount of personal development that you have. And there is a formula which I constantly keep on sharing with as many people as possible, which says that your personal development is what is going to give you your career development, your wealth development, and your business development. Okay. How many of you again concur with me? If you concur with me, if you are in alignment with me, just type aligned on your chat box, please. Yes, whatever you achieve in your life, it's achieved because of your. Thank you, Amar. Thank you, Sharad. Thank you. Yeah, aligned. Absolutely. And I really appreciate this awesome organization which is giving this particular life skills to as many people as possible. Now, I want to also appreciate and acknowledge each one of you. We have almost about 125, 150 people. I really want to appreciate each one of you. You being here tells me one thing, my friend, as your coach, that you are among the top 10% of the world's population. Why I'm telling you this is according to the research done by our behavioral science and our teaching faculty across the globe, it is said that less than 10% of the human beings constantly keep on investing their time, effort, and resources to develop this most important asset which each one of us have got. So I really want each of you to give yourself a round of applause for your growing mindset, your learning mindset, your mindset to be a lifelong learner, student, and a human being. So give yourself a round of applause, my friend. I really want all of you to give you a round of applause and appreciate yourself, because you have this success mindset which you have learned, you have developed. It doesn't come automatically. The very fact that you are on this Saturday, you are ready to spend your 1 hour on your own self development shows a lot about you. हम लोग बहुत बार जाके मूवी देखते हैं, मॉल में घूमते हैं, कभी कभी इवन आईपीएल भी देखते हैं पूरा दिन. But we don't spend, most of the people don't spend time in learning something new about your life skill, about your personal skill or your business skill, which takes a different amount of effort for that. So I really want to acknowledge each one of you for your success mindset. Okay. And I really want all of you to do one more thing. Okay. All of you raise your hands up. हाथ ऊपर करिए, turn your hand around and give yourself a pat. Give yourself a pat. Everybody, raise your hand and give yourself a pat and say, boss, I am proud of my mindset. I am proud of my mindset to keep on learning and developing myself. I really want all of you to do that. Okay. एंड अगर दोस्तों, अगर आप आपके बंदे लोग के साथ हैं, साथ में हैं, तो रेज योर हैंड लाइक दिस एंड अपने जो, if you are in a team and doing it, give them a pat and look them into their eyes and say, you are awesome. Tell them, you are awesome, everybody. Really do this, because I am make, yeah, very good. I can see Ankit doing that. Yeah, really. And I tell you, I am not making this just as a superficial thing. I really mean it as your coach, that this mindset of yours, don't leave it. This will take you to the next level of success in all areas of life. Okay. Awesome. But after this, let me share with you what are we going to learn in the coming 1 hour. Friends, as I was saying, as you all agreed and beautifully participated, each one of you know that everybody in every conversation, every day, almost every moment, you are negotiating in one way or the other. How many of you would agree with me? Since morning, आज सुबह से लेके, you all have been negotiating. How many of you agree with me that I have negotiated since morning? If you are negotiated, say yes, I have negotiated. Please type on that on your chat box. Yes, आपको अगर याद आया होगा कि बस negotiation is not only restricted to that some business negotiation जो साल महीने में एक बार, साल में एक बार, कभी हमारा सैलरी नेगोशिएशन होता है, कभी हमारा जब we are negotiating for something. No, but every day, almost every moment, or somewhere or the other, you are negotiating in your personal life, your professional life. Yes, Madhuri, very much. Sachit, very good. Yeah. Since morning, you must have negotiated number of times. Maybe many times we do it without realizing it, without being conscious about it. And that's exactly what, as your coach, I want you to get present to it. Boss, yeah, मैं हर मोमेंट में करते रह रहा हूँ, कहीं पर भी जाता हूँ, I am negotiating. Somewhere I am having a conversation, because every conversation in one way or the other is negotiation. Okay. Early morning, you want your children to get up early and do some studies. Okay. So you negotiate with them. Okay. पहले ये कर, then I'll give you this. Okay. Or in with your better off husband or wife, you say, okay, अगर हम लोग we are planning to go this for the weekend. Okay. Somebody has got another plan. You both negotiate. Okay. Say, आधा टाइम यहाँ जाएंगे, आधा टाइम यहाँ जाएंगे. Okay. So continuously, we are continuously negotiating. So in this 1 hour, I want you to understand this all pervasive nature of negotiation. Then we will look into some of the internationally acknowledged negotiation definition, so that we get more clarity and more idea about this particular important thing. This clarity is power. So you get more clarity about negotiation. How many of you feel that this would be useful? If you feel it's going to be useful, just type useful on the chat box. Yes, yes coach, this will be useful. अगर मुझे क्लैरिटी मिलेगा, अगर मुझे इसका जो वाइट प्रिविलेंस मिलेगा, so yeah, thank you Santosh, thank you Sanjay, thank you Naveen, thank you Sandeep, thank you very much, thank you Ishwar, Harish, for your Awesome participation. Then, friends, I'll also touch upon in the short time we have got to also teach you about the negotiation mindset, which if you can develop, it will give you more power. And also, I'll give you some of the world class, world researched negotiation principles and tips, which you can learn and start using it right from today so that you start having a more win-win type of a negotiation in all areas of life, your personal life, professional life, social life. Wherever you are able to have a more fulfilled, more contented, and a more altruistic experience. How many of you feel that will be awesome? If you feel that's going to be awesome, type awesome on the chat box, my friends. Awesome. And also, yeah, say, but you need to absolutely me. Yeah, thank you, Santosh, thank you, Abhay. Yeah, I promise you, my very much intention is each one of you really take value from the whole thing. Okay, now I wanted to just do a small experience. Everybody keep your hands together. Yeah, और ये हाथ को ना साथ में रखो. Okay, and check out. जो भी आपके हाथ छोटा है ना, उसको आपके सामने लो. Okay, and you repeat what I say. Okay, you keep it like this. चेकआउट जो भी छोटा है उसको आपके सामने लो एंड जस्ट रिपीट दिस व्हाट आई एम डूइंग माय palm is growing my palm is good just look at the palm focus on it and just say my palm is growing my palm is growing look at it and repeat this word my palm is growing 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 okay abhi ek kaam karo now get the palms together again okay how many of you can see that the palm has become slightly bigger okay dosto yeah thank you this is nothing but called as a power of intention okay so I want you all to take just 60 seconds 60 to 90 seconds and type on the chat box कि आपको इस मास्टर क्लास ऑफ नेगोशिएशन से क्या लेके जाना चाहती हो what do you want to learn I've given you a small idea but what do you want to take back so I'm going to give you 60 seconds go to the chat box and type what do you want to take back from this particular session okay because I'm going to take you through all of them and I'm also going to show you as to how you can continue this learning session with me okay very good Senthil art of negotiation as win-win very good awesome yeah everybody because remember वो शाहरुख खान का डायलॉग है अगर आप जो भी शिद्दत से दिल से चाहते हो पूरी कायनात आपको उसको मिलाने में संघर्ष करती है जुड़ जाती है वेरी गुड आई लाइक दैट संजय स्किल फॉर बेटर लीडर रिलेशनशिप थ्रू नेगोशिएशन एक्सीलेंट मधुराज विन विन कॉन्वर्सेशन एक्सीलेंट self confidence about very true you will get better confidence when you know more skills win win for both sides excellent Ishwar yes prerna power of being confident not get negotiated excellent sir office colleagues के साथ negotiation सही नहीं कर पाता हूँ मैं वही improvement करना चाहता excellent very true you will not only office सब जगह social life Naveen clarity communication collaboration compromise and commitment excellent very good win the conversation fear will reduce very true self confidence brilliant last 15 seconds 15 seconds more for you to type out what do you want to take back very good I promise you you will get this आपको मेरे कॉन्वर्सेशन से लोगों का शेयरिंग से you will get this yes Sanganish very good second reminder can we please maintain English as a formal language for this session very good skills to achieve what I put my mind into very good what to learn how to negotiate better with wife oh, very good can do more work independently without taking help very good awesome very good so friends thank you for your sharing and I tell you what we have just done is called the power of intention and when you are intentional you are able to achieve this very good awesome so well, let's begin this particular first element which I wanted to share with you that there are a lot of myths and truths of negotiation. So incidentally, I wanted to share with you that we will not take a questions immediately. You can type it up, but subsequently Ankit will summarize it. At the end of 1 hour, I will give you some time for asking your personal questions, and we will try to answer as much as you can. As I said, negotiation is a huge subject. I have written a book on this recently. It was released in Dubai and it's been one of the best sellers, called Negotiate to Win 21 Strategies to Have a Win-Win Negotiation Skill. So we will try to cover as much as possible. And of course, you can always reach out to me. You can see my more than 500 videos, which we have put on personal development, sales, persuasion, negotiation skills. And I'll share with you those links, and you can go into our website and learn more and more. But as I said, this 1 hour, I, as your coach, would like to make it as much powerful as possible so that you start becoming a better version of yourself right from today. And that's what is my vision. Why I'm here, why I always accept such invitations from good companies like Trika is basically my vision, and my why in this in my life is to empower, enable, educate as many human beings as possible in order to remove their barriers so that every human being can lead a more powerful, more purposeful and more prosperous life. ये मेरा intention है दोस्त, ये मेरा life का मकसद है. And especially I love to interact with a lot of youngsters like you. And I've done more than 10,000 training programs and written 7 books. And I do this more out of my real uh, intention to make a difference to this world and share whatever I have learned from my teachers. Okay, so that is what is the basic thing. So, friends, let me first share with you the very important thing. This is the book which I have written, Negotiate to Win, 21 Effective Negotiation Strategies for Closing Any Deal in your feedback. This is available on in a Kindle form as well, and available in Amazon. Okay. Remember, the first important thing is, my friend, everything is negotiable and everyone is a negotiator. Every conversation, in a way, is directly or indirectly, we are negotiating. Okay. And negotiation is a life skill, business skill, and a social skill. And one more important thing is negotiation is a learnable skill and can be mastered by conscious practice. Okay. कोई भी इंसान, कोई भी ह्यूमन बीइंग, अगर वो चाहता है, if he understands his basic principles and basic truths about negotiation, he will be able to master it. Okay. And negotiation takes place whenever two or more people come together to attempt to reach agreement on some issues. It's a form of a communication, okay, which is automatically happening, and we need to continuously. It's a form of a persuasive communication. If it's the bargaining is about getting what you want, negotiation is about getting the best possible deal, getting what you want in the best possible manner. In fact, friends, negotiation का बहुत एक simple definition है, which I'm sure each of you will appreciate. It's about nothing but two or more people coming together in order to address some challenges or problem and come out with a solution which can be pleasing to everybody. Negotiation nothing more than this. It's about nothing but getting together and addressing a problem and coming out with a solution which can be a win-win for everybody. At the end of the negotiation, everybody feels good. That is what is a sign of a good negotiation. Okay. Now, next thing I wanted all of you to get present to is this aspect. There are distributive type of negotiation and integrative, win-lose and win-win. Actually, if you actually see, there are people who talk about, I win and you lose, or you win and I lose. That doesn't work. If you want to have a long term, your perspective has to be always from this perspective, that in at the end of the negotiation, everybody feels that they've got win. They got something out of the negotiation. And if you want to be a good negotiator, never think about only about your own selfish need. You have to see that you are coming from giving so that the other person also takes back something from it. This is very, very core. This is called integrative form of negotiation. And you should always look at that you are giving, you are from coming from a context of giving, leaving something on the table so the other person also feels good. And there are ultimately the 4 processes of it. You have to identify the common issue or a challenges, You have to debate over it with an open mind. Then you have to rearrange it in wherein you give some, the other person gives some, and ultimately at the end of the negotiation, you come to an agreeing terms. So this is what is very, very important steps or process of a negotiation, where you come together, two or more people come together, they identify a challenge or a problem, like it can be in various terms, and then you debate over it with an open mind, with each one given an option to express their opinion, and then you agree to some, give in some, take some, and at the end of it, you have an agreeing term. So if this is done, then automatically you will be in a position to have a successful negotiation. So this is what is very, very important. Remember, a very, very important psychological point, because see, remember, negotiation is, we human beings are emotional beings. We are social beings. I want one important thing for all of us to understand is all human beings first take their decisions emotionally and then justify it logically. Okay. So that's why even in negotiation, it's very important first to have a rapport, have an engagement, have a relationship set. If you are going to feel close to the other person, you're going to feel good about it. Okay. If there is a likability factor, if there is a engagement, if there is a bond, if there is a tuning between both of you, that is going to be very useful. How many of you agree with me? If you agree with me, just type yes on the chat box, that yes, yeah, whenever you have had a good negotiation, you always have seen that the first there's a rapport built, there's a tuning built, and once if you have the tuning, the subsequent things becomes much more easier for you to discuss, where you are not only thinking about me myself, you're also thinking about the other person. So remember this very important point, be it a negotiation, which is also part of the overall structure of selling. And selling is the most important business skill, the most important personal skill, because sales is what gets you income and thereby business. More sales, more income, more business, and no sale, no income, no business. Okay, that's why, as a sales success mentor, one of the top sales trainer and mentor in India and Asia, we always say that selling, in which negotiation comes as a part of it, is something which can be learned by everybody, and thereby we can take it to the next level. Okay. Now, next important thing is we need to understand is the aspect about what are the other characteristics which we need to do. As I said, it's this particular aspect I want all of you to get present to, that you come from a mindset. Okay, I want all of you to get present to this particular thing. Okay, negotiation karte waqt, what has to be your mindset? Your mindset has to be one of abundance. See, this is a very, very critical aspect which I want all of us to understand. As an author of the best-selling book on negotiation, I want you to get present to. You can come into this negotiation with either with an abundance mindset or a scarcity mindset. I would, as your coach, constantly recommend to you that you need to come from an abundance mindset. Okay, because most people, okay, unfortunately, come from scarcity. Scarcity ka, the fundamental is fear. Okay, scarcity will start with envy, guilt, blame, unfairness, depletion, zero sum game. And when you come from a scarcity mindset, then you try to do that, win lose or lose lose, or go into a distributive form of negotiation, or that is can be a big pitfall. On the other hand, if you come from an abundance mindset, where you come from love, where you come from gratitude, creativity, cooperation, opportunity, ingenuity, and exponential growth. In this world, there is enough for everybody. But all that is important for us to remember is to that mindset from with which you are coming, that you are able to come from a right mindset when you approach it. Because if you approach a negotiation situation from a wrong mindset, it can lead to disaster. And even if you by chance get it, you will not be able to really get that. We will not be able to have a long term. Like for some time, it so happens that just because you have more power, you have got more information, you put a lot of negative terms on your other partner, you somehow get it from him. But I can tell you one thing, if you come from that type of a mindset of scarcity, of inducing fear, it will not ultimately lead to a long term. After some time, somebody will break off because if somebody is going to keep on losing, nobody is going to come. That's why in every negotiation, especially when I talk about business negotiation, people like Warren Buffett, people like Ratan Tata, Narayana Murthy, whenever they acquire companies and then they negotiate, they always see that the other party also benefits because they come from abundance, not from scarcity. How many of you agree with me? And I want you to type this on the chat box. I abundance mindset, a very, very important fundamental principle for us to be more effective in our negotiation technique, be it in your personal, be it in your social, be it in your professional. You need to always come from abundance mindset. Okay, that's enough for everybody. If you agree with me, type abundance mindset. Very good. Yeah, absolutely. This is the fundamental. As your coach, I would say that with this mindset, you will always have a more constructive and a long-term um, successful mindset in your life. Okay. So this has to be your important thing. And as I said, the definition of negotiation, which I want all of you to, it's nothing but it's a process of back and forth communication designed to reach agreement when you and the other side have some interests that are shared and some that are opposed. And during the process of negotiation, you are able to give up something, take something. Other party also is flexible, and thereby you agree at a mutually agreeable terms. Negotiation is a trading process through which parties try to reach agreements on matters of shared and opposite interest. You can just take a quick camera shot of this so that you can subsequently take it and take it forward. Okay. Or negotiation is a persuasion in motion, convincing others while staying open to be convinced. Very, very beautiful, recently accepted, internationally recognized definition of negotiation. Negotiation is nothing but is a persuasion in motion, convincing others while staying open to be convinced. That means you are allowing yourself to be always flexible. You are always ready to be an open-minded. You always respect other people's opinions. You appreciate other people's stand as well, and thereby take it to the next level. Okay. So, friends, are you all getting value from what I'm discussing? If you're getting value, please type value on the chat box. Yes, and value and thank you, Prasad. Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you, Vinit. Because my my really heartfelt intention is each one of you will start appreciating the importance of negotiation skill and start understanding it, start learning it, and start mastering it. Friends, one of my spiritual mentor is Sri Ravi Shankar ji. I've done the art of living. I remember in one of the business seminar which he was conducting in Cuff Parade, almost 15, 20 years back, when some select business people were called and I was one of the invitees. So he said very beautifully, for you to be effective as an entrepreneur or as a business person, you require three skills: marketing, second one is R&D, and third one he said is negotiation skills. Almost 15 to 18 years back. So, agar each of us is an entrepreneur in our own way, so this is three skill which is everybody has to know, and unfortunately, we are not taught in any of our college curriculum. That's what is important. Okay. Next one is your focus has to be win-win focus, and that's what will give you the real power. And one more very important thing in negotiation, I really want all of you to get present to that that we have to, whenever you go into negotiation, don't go with a desperation. You are going with abundance mindset, but there's a beautiful terminology which I want all of you to know. It's called BATNA. It's called best alternative to negotiated agreement. Friends, one tip I'd like to give all of you as a practitioner, as an author, as a researcher on negotiation: never be desperate. Never allow somebody else to dominate you so much that you have to do it. You don't go out of have to do. You want to negotiate. And one important thing about negotiation is you always should have choices. Remember, when you have only one choice, you're desperate. When you have two choices, you're confused. But when you have three choices, you have control. So, BATNA is a very important thing. Whenever you are into any negotiation, always explore, always look out for choices and go always with the best alternative to negotiated agreement. So when you have an option, you're not pressurized, and you will be able to always be more confident, more forceful. As many of you had very beautifully said, I want to be more confident in negotiation. I want to feel more in control, in charge. And this is going to be very important. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Abhay. Thank you very much. Yeah. Patna is, for example, Neha. Neha, for example, you're going for a job interview, okay, and you have got two, three offers already with you. So when you go for a job interview for any, I mean, the interviewer, in that interview, you'll be more confident. You'll say, okay, boss, this is what is my expectation. This is what I'm ready to give you. And this is what is my terms. So you can negotiate a better salary increment, because you know that even if he says no, you have got another two options. Neha, you got it? So that will give you more power. Like, for example, if you have no choices, you have no batna, then you are forced to, you are compelled to take it up. Got it? Got it, Neha? So that is what is important. Similarly, whenever you are negotiating for as a supplier or as a purchaser, if you've got only one supplier for your supply, whatever terms he will tell you, you will have to take. On the other hand, if you've got three choices, you say, okay, this is what I want. If you're able to give you, thanks. Otherwise, thank you very much. We'll be friends, but we'll not do deal. So you have more power when you have choices. I mean, if you agree with me, say yes. Choice is great. Everybody can say that choice is great. Yeah, yeah, that's very, very important. Okay, best alternative to the negotiated agreement. Thank you very much, Pragita. Thank you, Ishwar. Thank you, Abhay. Okay. Second important principle I want to think about is interest versus position. See, now sometimes whenever you're negotiating, don't be in a hurry. Always have patience. Always have a calm mentality. So, for example, just to give you an example about interest and position, there were two people in a library. They were all sitting. They were sitting opposite each other, and there was a window. The window was closed. So one of the person sitting in the library, he wanted the window open, because he wanted more light to come, and also he wanted more uh, air to come. On the other hand, the other person who was sitting in the library, he was dealing with a lot of papers, so he thought that the moment you open the window, that wind will take away those papers, so he will be disturbed. So they both were negotiating what to do. They were both were into a state of debating, arguing. One said, I want the window open. One said no. So the librarian walked in and he listened to both of them. Okay, he understood their position. One wanted open, one wanted closed. But then he went deeper. Why do they want it? They got it. So what he did was he opened another window a little bit far away. He opened it up so the wind could come from there, more light could come. At the same time, it will not disturb the other person's papers. So what the librarian did was he didn't focus on position. He focused more on the interest. So if you can do that, automatically you will be able to find solutions. So don't only look at position is more superficial, interest is more detailed. Okay. How many of you get it? If you got it, say I got it. Okay. So whenever you're negotiating, don't, yeah, that's win-win situation. Prasad, very much. Where you are talking about interest, not about position. Okay. Now one more thing, which is also given as an example in this particular aspect is about like, for example, there's a cake and two people have to have it. So here it is said that one person will cut, another person will choose. So it is said that in order to ensure there will be equitable win-win, so the person who cuts the cake will have a second choice. The first choice will be for the person who who doesn't have the knife to cut, but he'll have the first choice. So just imagine if you have a cake here and I have to cut it and I'm going to have a second choice. What am I going to do? Can you all answer me? Kya karega main? What will I do? Like when I have to cut it, so I will cut it equal. Yeah, so that it will be equal, right? So automatically, these are the various ploys various scoping mechanism by which you can ensure that you are able to ensure that you are able to have an equitable win-win situation. So when I have a cake, if if I want to ensure that there's going to be equal distribution, win-win, the person who cuts the cake will have a second option. The person who's watching him cut will have the first option. So that is the thing about interest and position. Second one is power of reframing. Very, very important. For example, some of you may be from insurance, some of the banking. So when I tell my client, your premium is going to be 18,000 rupees per year. Okay, 18,000 looks big, but if you tell him that you're going to have to pay only 50 rupees per day in order to have 50 lakhs worth of insurance. So what you have done is you have reframed your proposition or your presentation to the other person. When you reframe it, you automatically are able to ensure that you are able to make value proposition more instead of price. How many of you got it? How many of you got it? Okay. So this is the power of reframing, how you present yourself. Instead of presenting a very high amount, you're talking about the benefit that is going to have. So constantly practice reframing. Well, there are a lot of such techniques. The time is too short for me to take it through that. Maybe subsequently to Ethica Insurance, we can have a full 1 day or a 2 day seminar on negotiation where we can actually do some mocks, and that would be very, very beneficial. And thereby, you all will be able to understand, learn, and be on the process of mastering. How many of you agree with me? If you agree with me, type agree. Yes. Now I'm just giving you overall review, but subsequently we can definitely have a more detailed information based upon my research, my understanding and thing, and then we can take it forward. So I can tell you, negotiation skill is one skill which can improve your companies, your departments, your organization, and you as a person to increase your profitability. Today, I can tell you, as your coach, we leave a lot of money on the table because we have not understood the depth of negotiation. Negotiation is not only about price, it's about the terms. It's about terms like, delivery. In fact, today morning only, I was negotiating with one of my clients because I've got a couple of companies which I founded and marketed. One of my companies called Pacific Trends Private Limited. We are negotiating with one company for manufacturing for the pouches. I'm intending to sell them 1.2 million pouches. Okay. Now this 1.2 million pouches, even every rupee matters. Yes or no? So I was just discussing with him. I was talking about not only the price is X, but more important than the price was the important things like what is going to be the delivery, what is going to be the packaging, what is going to be the warranty. Each one of those has to be negotiated and there has to be clarity. If even if you can save 1 rupee, if I save 1 rupee on that pouch, how much am I going to save and how much is going to be my profitability per year? Can you tell me the answer? I just save or I negotiate 1 rupee better on this negotiation. How much will I be earning extra? How much will I be able to do better? You're right, absolutely right, Madhura. 1.2 million, 1.2 million, yes. So it may look small, but it has got a huge amount of repercussion. So that is where negotiation is important. That's why I really want to appreciate Idrika Insurance and Ankit for choosing this topic and coming to us. We sometimes don't realize that how much of money we leave on the table just because we have not understood the repercussion of it. The repercussion of it. As you already said, just saving 1 rupee on this negotiation, and I literally tell you, I saved 3 rupees on this, and they were very happy with our pricing, but I saved in terms of my transport. It's a company in Hyderabad, so from here to Hyderabad the pouch would cost me about 250 rupees per pouch, and plus the other paraphernalia. So 3 rupees I saved on this 1.2 million proposed pouches. So if I've saved 3 rupees, how much more profitability is my company going to be? Anybody? Yeah, 3.6 million. Absolutely, Prasad. Just imagine. Okay. You may look, what is the 3 rupees? Arey boss, 3 rupees into so much. That is what is the power of reframing, which I'm talking about. Thank you very much. I appreciate your this thing. Now I want you to think, no, the power of reframing is like this. Now I want everybody to look at this particular picture. Okay. Now I want you to look at and tell me what is the age of this lady? What is the age of this lady? 26 says Madhura. 30 says Aarti. Very good. Young lady says Tarun. Naseem says 30 to 35. 40 says Abhay. Cannot say says Neha. 80 says Prasad. Wow. Shankaracharya says 80. Poonam says 80. 90. Okay. So, Ankit, can you just, if anybody wants to share, Aarti, how is it 80? 89? 90? Somebody says 26, somebody says 90. How? Had to guess. Yeah. You're right. If you look at this, if you look this as your chin, and if you look at this as a chin, this as your chin, then this looks to be this is a face, then it looks like a 80, 90-year-old. Now imagine this is going to be the jawline. Yeah, two images, right, Aarti? Yeah, old lady and young lady in the same. Yeah, absolutely. That is the power of perception. That's the power of perception. Okay. So even in negotiation, my friends, there is something called as perception. From one side, it looks old. From the other side, it looks young. So it all depends upon, you have to understand from both the perception, or sometimes you have to give it that orientation for you to get the power. Okay. Next one is principle of negotiation is power, information, time. Friends, the entire negotiation is always in terms of who has got more power, who has got more information, and who has got more flexibility in terms of time. This is the interplay. That's why they say you have to go well prepared for your call. They say Dennis Fittley, one of my mentors, said that you should get 64 information about the other party in all its dimension before you enter into negotiation. Don't go unprepared. If you're not prepared, reschedule your negotiation meeting. But whenever you go fully prepared. Power means you should know what is your power. Like in the morning when I was negotiating with this company for a manufacturing of a medical pouch, my power was I've been supplying to one of the international companies almost 2.5 million. My expertise in this line, okay, my experience in this line, okay, my machinery in this line, okay, that was my power. Information is I know they are right now manufacturing it from an unorganized sector. I know that they are not able to meet the international quality standard of the pouch. I know that they are not able to have uniformity. The time is they want at least about 1 lakh pieces per month, which not many people are able to supply. They have to go to 3 or 4 different suppliers. Now I know that they require 1 lakh pieces. When I have got these three information, I could negotiate with them where I'm approximately saving 3 rupees more compared to the others. They are able to give me 3 rupees more compared to, because I've got power, information, and time. So PIT is very important. So whenever you get into any negotiation, you have to ensure that have you know your power. Your power can be in terms of, if you're a buyer, you can be in terms of your the volume. You can be in terms of your money that you have, in terms of your international status. Information can be in terms of the detail about the product, the technology, the technique. Time can be in terms of how much early planning you do. So when you have got less time, then you are desperate to finalize. If I know that somebody wants it in 1 week's time and I've got the capacity to do, I'll automatically escalate my price. So it's always the interplay between power, information, and time. So I want all of you to type on the chat box. PIT is very important. Please type on the chat box. PIT is very important. Before getting into negotiation, go well prepared and ensure that you have got maximum information about your power and the other person's power. You have maximum information about your own competency as well as the other person. You should also know what is the time relative for you and the others. So if you can have this PIT, thank you very much. I appreciate. Tapkale, very good. Navya, excellent. Pragita, yeah, very good. PIT, remember, PIT is very, very critical. Okay. Now, next one, my friend, is emotional control. Again, a very, very important thing. You got about 8 more minutes left. Let me give you some more information. Next one is emotional control. Remember, we human beings are emotional beings because we are controlled by our subconscious mind, and our subconscious mind is basically an emotional brain. And remember, because we are emotional, that's why I said we take our decisions emotionally and then justify it logically. But emotion is energy in motion, and emotion is your interpretation or the meaning that you give. It's very, very important for you to realize that you don't get emotion, you do emotion. Okay, same situation. One person may be very calm, composed because of his emotional maturity. One more person may get agitated, angry, and unexcited. Remember, when the emotion goes up, intelligence comes down. How many of you agree with me? When I'm emotional, I don't know what I'm saying, what I'm doing. And many of the catastrophic incidents happen in life mainly because you lose your emotion and you do something rash. How many of you agree with me? When your emotion goes up, your intelligence comes down. Now we must be knowing about road rages, road rages. Like किसी ने आपको somebody cuts your car, you get down and you start immediately fighting because you lose your emotion. Whereas if you are more calm, composed, cool, and okay, empathize with the other person, you will not let your mind go. Remember, this your mind. This has to be ice factory, sugar factory, and satisfactory. These three factories within you has to be under control. Ice factory, sugar factory, satisfactory. If you can have this emotion under control, you will not lose even in negotiation. In negotiation, which is again today a very, very important step, even in business. And there are companies, who are there are three, four people negotiating against you. Some people want to provoke you. Somebody want to, instigate you. And if you don't have emotional balance and you get excited, then you will do something rash. How many of you agree with me? How many of you agree with me? If you agree with me, just type. When emotion goes up, intelligence comes down. Okay. So I will always try to manage my emotion. Okay. Emotion is energy in motion. So emotional control is very important. Like, we always appreciate Dhoni. Why do we appreciate Dhoni as a captain cool? Everybody would like to answer in the chat box. Why is he today considered to be calmness? Very true, Prasad. Okay. And agree, correct, 100%. Thank you, Abhay. How many of you agree with me? Even today, Dhoni is considered to be one of the best captains. Why do we say that? And why even today, whenever he comes up, people respect him, people love him, people hold him in a very high esteem. Why is it so? Anybody? Can you type on the chat box? What is your answer for that? Okay, mainly because he's a person who always, yeah, great control on emotion. Very true, Neha. Absolutely right. Calmness, control over exactly what he does. Okay. Next one is power of asking. Very important. Now they always say selling or negotiation. Unless until you ask, you will not get. And asking is the right of every negotiator or every salesperson. Whenever you ask, you have a chance of getting it. If you don't ask, you will not get. People have sometimes a wrong myth that people will give on its own. Never. You have to always ask in order to get. Remember, as a salesperson, as a negotiator, it's your right to ask. It may be the other person's right, not to answer you, but it is always your right to ask. That's exactly where in negotiation they say you always have to go well prepared. You have to always never give the first offer, never take the first offer. You always have to ask for a better terms. You always have to be well prepared to know what is the long-term implication of even a small concession. And you have to ensure that you are asking him to make it more reasonable, better terms. All of them is your right, and that is the power that you have as a human being, as a negotiator, to say. Understand, you verbalize it, other people may not know. Your silence may be construed as acceptance, yeah, as submissiveness, Okay, that's never to be done. You have to be bold enough to ask, and that will give you a lot of power. Okay, and asking, ask specifically, ask someone who can help you create value for the person who you're asking. Ask with focused, congruent belief, and ask until you get what you want. Okay, these are the other distinctions of asking, which we'll take up when we do a full day or a 2 day seminar. Okay, next one is always go well prepared. I said, and there's no substitute for preparation. Talk less, listen more. You have to be a good listener. God has given you two eyes and 2 ears to listen and only one mouth to speak. So 80-20% is very, very important. Okay. Control is India. Build rapport, build relationship, as we said, is very, very important. Okay. Manage your state, psychological, mental, emotional, spiritual state. Very important. Okay. Always be a master of your subject, of your company. 6 cylinders. You should know about economy, industry, product and application, company, selling skill, and attitude. For you to be appreciated as a consultant, you need to constantly keep on working on this. Okay, and you need to understand the customer psychology. Customer always looks for reciprocity. He wants authority. He wants something which where there is social proof. He wants somebody who's likable. All of them are customer psychology, which you should need to know. And gestation processes, customer looks for credibility, relevance, value for money, and it also requires us to why you should purchase it, immediacy. So this is again something which needs to be appreciated and taken forward. Okay. So important thing is don't make the first offer, don't accept the first offer, and learn to ask. Very, very important. And if you can do this continuously, you will be in a way able to really appreciate and get into what I'm talking about. When this is the book which I have written down, Negotiable. Apart from this, these are the other books. You can note it down and then we can take it forward. Okay. And we keep on doing a lot of training programs on sales mastery in India and abroad. We are considered to be the number one in terms of sales and negotiation skills. And we do one-to-one coaching and other important thing. Okay. So this is what is our actual this thing. So friends, now I'm opening because time is 12:29. I would like to open this thing for your this thing. In the meanwhile, I request everybody to do one thing. Please remove your phone number, scan this code, scan this, and after scanning, what you do is you write down key. What are you taking back from today's session? From today's session, what are you taking back? So I want you to type out. There's a feedback which I can then give it to Ankit and the team, and thereby you'll be able to really understand what you're taking. And write down. Okay, from today's master class from Dr. Arunagiri, I've done this. Okay, you have a star. If you really found it good, give a 5-star there, and thereby and give your feedback on that. So please, that's what it is. In the meanwhile, I'll ask Ankit to give me those questions which I can help you to answer. Okay, whatever time is there, I would like to answer. Yeah.
Sir, you can see the Q&A sections where people have some
So can you
questions
just
for us.
summarize them, Ankit, if you don't mind? Can
Yeah,
you?
sir, there was one question from Neha Joshi. Is it true that we can do better negotiations with third parties compared to your related parties? Example, price for selling product to your relative versus a third party.
You are related parties, related. And Neha, if you ask me, it is not necessary. Okay. It all depends upon how much of trust you have got. In fact, if you ask me, frankly, as a businessman negotiator for 30 years, if you have a trust already with your existing parties, and if they know that you are authentic and you are somebody who gives value to them, if you ask me, because of your past trust quotient or trust bank balance, you will be able to negotiate better. Yeah, with the new party, also you may sometimes get a better term, but the new party will have to first establish the trust factor, and trust happens through a cycle. You agree, you deliver, you assure, and you explore. So number of cycles that you are able to complete of this cycle, agree, deliver, assure, explore, the trust becomes. So if you ask me, Nia, if you already have an old relationship where there is a trust bank balance, I'm sure you will be able to convince them, negotiate with them better.
So another questions from Aarti said, how do we negotiate during making, deal making with parents, relationship building? Could you elaborate with steps? Thank you for your insight and sharing his knowledge with us.
Yeah, this is about personal thing. Yeah, here again the same information, same logical step happens. Arti, here again you identify, you debate, you come to the common points, agreement, and then you have the agreement. See, never do any negotiation, and especially even you're right. Many times the marriage alliances should never be done in a hurry. Don't take any of these lifelong decisions in a hurry. You have to find out the compatibility, you have to find out the most detail, go with that, the detail, as much preparation as possible. Check out exactly, what is it that each party is looking for, and then on that basis merge the two parties in terms of in all aspects of life, and then come to a decision. Remember, any negotiation, in fact, I would say, especially for alliances or partnership, it should never be done in a haste. If you do a quick deal, then you will suffer in the long term. And how many of you agree with me that many of us in our life, we have done some quick deal in our life and had a long term repercussion? If you agree with me, just type yes on the chat box. That never be impatient. Yes, Prasad, very much. Never be impatient. Never be in a hurry. Hurry, worry, curry. Avoid it, and always go with a systematic form. Some of the points which I've shared with you, there are more points in our my book as well, and in my seminars you'll be able to get more. But my one line is, never be take decisions in a hurry. Always take your time, go well prepared, do the proper matching, and then take a decision. Have I answered your question, Arti? Yes.
And
Yeah, very much,
one
very much.
question from Abhay. Whenever go for interview, what points I have to keep, as in many cases I'm not getting any chances.
Yeah, Abhay, good question. See, interviews are absolutely negotiation process. See, here always remember one thing. In any negotiation is a conversation for addressing a problem and come out with a win-win situation. So, if somebody is calling you for interview, why is he calling for interview? Because he requires some manpower, some person to take up a responsibility to solve that problem for him. Okay. So you have to first find out about in everything about the company. I said 64 information you carry about the company. What are they doing? What are they expecting from you? What are their challenges? And how your experience, your capability, your competence, you are able to bring forth in order for you to solve that problem. If you are able to convince them that you have the capability, experience, and competence to solve their problem, and then you can ask them the terms which you feel is appropriate. Okay, because many times and never accept their first offer. Remember, the first offer is always low. You put your thing and go well research for a similar job. What is the market salary given by others? Go with all those research, all those preparation, all those data. Remember, you trust in God, rest all is in data. This is what they say. Trust in God, but rest all is in data. So go well researched, and then uh, show them how you are able to meet the requirement. At the same time, you also tell them key to for you to join them, you require this package, and you also give them reason why you are that good, because you are able to solve their challenges, and the comparable pay packet in the market is this. I promise you, you will be able to get a good deal in any situation, because interview is a negotiation skill.
So my
Thank you.
question is just what resources you can recommend it for like advanced learning, like books, video, or tools like.
Yeah, as I said, this Negotiate to Win, one of my best-selling books. You can really take it up from Amazon. It's
Okay.
already LinkedIn, or I've given you my link here. From this link, if you when you send a feedback on this, I will be able to you'll be able to access all my videos. I've got almost 500 videos on these subjects of personal development, which can be useful. And of course, as I said, Ishwar, we have our training programs which are really transformational. We do 1 or 2 days. Even you can
Mm-hmm.
talk to Ankit and the team. We can have a joint collaboration where we can have this program, because these are very important, Ishwar. I really
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah, yeah.
your craving. Because we don't know this, we are losing a lot of money. Just
Yeah.
imagine if you are able to negotiate a better pay packet. You're getting about maybe 10,000 rupees more. In a matter of 30 years, how much money you're getting? Plus, I said you save 1 rupee, you are saving not 1 rupee, 1.2 million rupees. Okay. In this way, we are losing a lot of money because we are not knowing the scientific principles and tools and techniques of negotiation. And if you are able to master this persuasion and negotiation techniques, I promise you that you will get value for your worth, Ishwar. In fact, I wanted to appreciate each one of you for your active participation. I loved your participation. And I love, as I said, one of my objective is to empower, enable every Indian youth, because my objective is to make India the Sone ki chidi of the world, golden land. Or we are going towards that. And you are the boys and girls who are going to make this happen. So I, as your coach, look forward to keeping on empowering you, enabling you, educating you with my experiences and my learning over the last 30, 40 years. And I want to see that each one of you really become those Koinur that you are, and thereby help grow your family, your neighborhood, your community, your state, and the country, and the world at large, so that we can make this world as Vasudeva Kutumbakam plus India as the golden land. Okay. And I thank you all for your participation. Share with as many people as possible. I tell you, this particular negotiation skill and persuasion skill, selling skill, people don't know. They have a wrong notion. They feel that negotiation is speaking. No, negotiation is listening and thinking. Better thinking is what is negotiation. And 80% of the time you should listen and 20% ask questions. When you ask questions, you control the conversation. So these are small, small things. They look simple, but they need to be practiced in order for you to really uh, get a understanding, learning, and mastery over this life skill, most important life skill, which can take your life to the next level in terms of your power, purpose, and prosperity.
So, on behalf of everyone, thank you so much, sir, for this insightful and practical session. And to everyone who joined us today, thank you for being here, for your questions, and making this session as such an energetic and engaging session. Have a wonderful weekend ahead. Go negotiate something great, and we will see you at the next one. Thank you, everyone.